What's good? It's Jordan. Today we'll be talking about have a social life of abundance. Understand that you must have a social life of abundance in order for you to be independent, in order for you to move freely, not always depending on people for yourself, for you to gain help, for you to gain these resources. Sometimes you have to go through the finish line on your own. Sometimes you have to do things on your own that you may not like, but it helps you build character, it helps you build strength, it helps you build purpose. Understanding this life, not depending on people around you for emotional and moral support helps, because you can build dangerous attachments, especially if you have an emotional attachment to somebody who doesn't have your best interests at heart. It's hard for you to break that attachment, and you always depend on that person instead of depending on yourself and depending on what you can do to get further in your life. Sometimes you go and speak to people about your problems and you invest your time and your emotions into these people, but they don't have your best interests at heart. Building toxic emotional relationships with people can cause your downfall. Sometimes these people are enemies to your success. They're enemies to what you want to do. They're enemies to your freedom. They may not be free, but you may be free. You understand different things in this world. They don't understand that. You've been provided with gifts, talents in this world, but they haven't been provided with that. So understand that you have to take your emotions seriously, and who you get attached with and who you stay around is very important to your development. Letting people drain you emotionally. Sometimes people will come to you with their own problems and their own emotions that they can't seem to figure out, and constantly drilling you about it, constantly wanting to know how you can help them. And sometimes you have your own problems and it's draining you emotionally and mentally because you cannot find a solution to their problems. Trying to find a solution to other people's problems can drain you as well, especially if you have your own problems. Hearing about many different people's problems and not finding solutions and finding answers as to how these problems can go away can drain both parties. Sometimes people come to you about their problems because they want a sense of belonging and a sense of way of someone they can vent to and talk to. But their problems may be too hard for you to handle, so it starts to drain you. It starts to drain how you feel. You start to feel bad. You start to feel the energy of your positivity wear off and become negative due to the energy around. Sometimes you may be placed under manipulation. You may be blamed for certain situations that you didn't cause. Sometimes kids blame their parents for different situations, especially when the child is far much older. They blame their parents. They blame their parents for everything. But when you're far much older, you can take the time and evaluate yourself and evaluate what you did, the mistakes you made, instead of blaming your parents for everything. Sometimes blaming your parents for everything doesn't even help. If anything, you should blame yourself. Move forward. Take accountability. Take accountability for your actions and move on. Being free to go as you please. This helps in living a life of abundance. You don't want people always in your business. You want to go somewhere and somebody's calling your phone all the time, asking you where you're going, asking you what are you doing, asking your business all the time. Sometimes you should be free to go wherever you want to go all the time. It gets annoying sometimes when you have to always check in with people and tell people your whereabouts and your business and where you're going. Sometimes people just want to know where you're going, to know your business, just to go to somebody else and tell your business too. Sometimes you just want to be independent and do your own thing, and people get offended by your independence. People want you to always be dependent on them so they can hold something against your head. If you move freely without being dependent on people, it's a threat to them. It's a threat to people. Know this. Sometimes you have friends, people who you deal with on a certain level. They'll call you and ask your business. They'll call you about what you're doing. They'll call you and talk to you about different things to get information. Oh, what are you doing with your life? Where are you going? Where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years? What house do you want? What car do you want? These questions that people ask you, these are questions that it should be kept personal. But people want to know these things for their own intentions, sometimes to compete with you. Oh, this person is getting this, so I got to beat them and get something better before they get it so I can prove to them that I'm better than them. Yeah, like these are the things that we have to go through in this life. But if you understand the signs early of people who do these things, you can avoid many pitfalls and many manipulative tactics. Understand that you have the ability to navigate this world freely. It's crazy that you as an adult has to tell your friends or somebody that you're speaking with what you're doing all the time. You don't know why people ask you these questions. You think people ask these questions just because they care for you. Sometimes people ask these questions because they want to be nosy and they want to know your business. They want to know how you do things. They want to know you maneuver. Remove yourself from these individuals. Always having to cater to people. Always having to cater to people's needs and wants, even when you don't want to do it. Somebody asking you to do something and you're unable to do that thing. But they want it done. But you have no way of doing it. And you can't tell them no. We've all been through it. Sometimes it's better to tell people no, you can't do something. Sometimes it's better to say no, just for your well-being. Sometimes people will ask you to do something for them based upon them wanting it done and not based upon them having your best interest. Because everything we do, it has to be mutual beneficial. And we can't want to do things for others and others don't want to help us. Where would that go? I understand the aspect of helping people and just being in service to people, but in this world, sometimes when you're in service to people too much, they take you for granted and they don't really care about your services anymore. And this also includes going places you've outgrown. If you know you don't go to the club anymore and you don't go to the bar or all these other places, but your friends still go, but you're tired of it and you just want to go to the library. You just want to go to the lounge and just relax. You don't want to party all the time, but your friends want to do it. And they're still inviting you. Tell them no. Or if you want, tell them to go where you want to go. But if they don't want to go where you want to go and they want to go where they want to go, but you want to go someplace else, go where you want to go and let them go where they want to go. If they understand you and they understand that you don't want to do that anymore, it's fine. But if they don't understand, you're just going to have to remove yourself from that group. This includes being peer pressured. You may not want to go somewhere, but they're begging you and asking you and telling you all the time and trying to peer pressure you into going to that place. Especially since you outgrown that place and they know you outgrown it and they know that you're trying to grow for yourself, they'll try to bring you back into that realm. They'll try to bring you back into that space because they don't want to feel left out of that space. Here's a trick. Sometimes when people see that you want to do something better for yourself and that you want to do something better for your life, people get scared by that because that means they have to change their own ways. People are afraid of change. And sometimes people want you around, they want me around, they want everyone around who they see less than just to be around so they look better. Understand this. Understand why you were placed in this world. Navigate freely. Stop being misled. Think for yourself. Programming is real. Programming is real. Think for yourself. Make keen decisions for your life. Don't always depend on somebody to make a decision for you. Even for myself, I used to ask various people to do my taxes because I didn't know how to do my taxes. And I started to realize me asking people to do my taxes, it's kind of a hard way for them to do it because they got their own life that they have to live. And me asking could be cutting into their time. It can be a detriment to that person, especially if they don't have time to do it. And, these people would help, but you can tell that they have their own things going on in their life, and they weren't unable to do it in the time frame that I wanted them to do it. And, I didn't feel a way about it, but what I started to do was learn how to do my own taxes. So now I don't have to ask individuals to do my taxes. So when I learned how to do my taxes, of course, you thank the individuals for helping you. But once you've learned something, you take those skills, you move on with those skills, and now you don't have to ask those individuals to do your taxes anymore since you learned how to do it. So that's what I took with me, and I understood that sometimes people have things going on in their own life, and maybe they want to help, but they're unable to help due to the things that they have going on with themselves. So I took matters into my own hands and learned how to do my own taxes and learned how to do it efficiently and effectively. So it's easier for myself instead of asking others. Sometimes it's better to do things solo. You want to go to the park, go to the park solo. You want to do something new that you haven't done before, hiking, dancing, going to programs that you've never been before, seminars. Do it solo. You may never know who you meet. You may never know the advice that you may get. Don't wait on people to accommodate you and come with you to things, and if they don't do it, you won't go to it. It will not help. Sometimes you got to do things alone. Stop listening to what people think about you. Stop listening to what people think and say about you. What do you say and think about yourself? How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about the decisions that you make? Here's some solutions. Learn yourself. Think about yourself deeply. Think about what you can do deeply for yourself. Think about how you can guide yourself and lead yourself instead of others leading you. Stop overthinking problems that you can't change. If you can't change a problem, stop overthinking it. Stop thinking that you can change that problem. Move forward with your life. Every problem that we endure, we cannot change that problem, but we can move forward with our lives. Leave fear behind. Leave your fear of what you don't know behind. The fear of the unknown can ruin all of us, but leave it behind. You may not be sure of your future right now, but your future may change next year, 5 years from now. So leave the fear of your life behind. Take time away from publications and platforms. Sometimes when we're on media all the time, we see so much negative things where it goes into our subconscious and we can't move freely in this world. Yes, there's negative things going on daily in our lives. And we must be up to date through the news and what's going on in the world. But we cannot change situations that happen amongst the world. What we can change is how we react to situations in the world. Do things that make you navigate freely in this life. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your space. Just being able to breathe and see another day should be the greatest thing to you. Move freely and live in a life of abundance. Know that this world is made for you to move freely and not for you to be bounded by people, places, and things. I want to thank you guys for watching today. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Share this video with your people. Share this video with anybody because someone may need this message. I'm out. Peace.